Hello, everybody. For those of you who are on my Facebook page, Katrina Knits, you're aware of what's going on this week with my family. But if you aren't and you're not aware of what happened, I thought I would share and give you a little bit more details as to what went on. On Tuesday morning, my daughter and son-in-law's house caught on fire. My daughter has 7 children. Everyone is safe, so we have lots of praises, but it's been a very emotional week because there was extensive damage done to their house. Thankfully, my daughter and son-in-law have taught their children right from the beginning with fire drills. They had active smoke alarms in the house. If you hear rumbling in the background, there's a thunderstorm going on. They had escape plans and alternate escape plans, as well as they also had a meeting place designated away from the house if they were to get separated. So they did lose 2 of their pets in the fire, and if you saw, I posted on Facebook that there was still 1 cat that was missing. One of the firemen saw it during the fire itself and put it outside away from danger, but then they couldn't find the cat. The cat has been found, so we've had a lot of answers to little prayers lately. We had that, and my daughter was very upset because we have 2 rings, rings that had been passed down in our family for 5 generations, and she couldn't find them. They weren't where she thought they were, and she was afraid that she had lost them. And we were praying about that, and they showed up this morning, totally undamaged. The things that my grandsons were worried about the most were their musical instruments. One grandson plays the guitar, the other one plays the mandolin. And the closet where they were stored, the TV right near there actually got so hot it melted. And my daughter's wedding dress was in that closet. The garment bag it was in melted. But their guitar and mandolin cases didn't even have scorch marks on them. There was open paper sitting in the outside pockets, and that didn't burn. The fire itself actually started in the kitchen. They had a big great room where it was a kitchen, dining room, living room. And my son-in-law was at work. My oldest granddaughter, she was at her summer job. And my daughter had run down to go pick up her set of eyeglasses at the next town from where they live. And so the 2 oldest grandsons, which are teenagers, were watching the other 4 younger ones. And one of them smelled smoke, and the smoke alarm started going off. And so the oldest grandson ran into the kitchen and saw flames shooting up from behind the stove. Not the stove itself, but behind the stove. So we do believe it was related to maybe some of the wiring or something with the stove itself. But the stove was not on and hadn't been on all day. This happened about 10 o'clock in the morning. So he yelled for everyone to get out of the house, and they were all back in the family room, which was in the back part of the house. And the 2 middle grandsons used that excuse to jump out the window, which was on the ground floor, but that was, I think they were looking for an opportunity to jump out the window. But anyway, they got out the window, and my second oldest grandson, who's 13, he grabbed the 3-year-old and the 5-year-old, and he got them out of the house. The oldest grandson tried to get to the fire extinguisher, which was underneath the kitchen sink, but when he saw the flames and the heat and the smoke was just getting too much, he grabbed the dog and he got out of the house as well. And they ran across the street to the neighbors, and the neighbors called the fire department and took care of the kids, and my daughter got home about that same time. So we do have huge amounts of thank yous to, God kept them safe. It could have happened at nighttime when they would have been asleep, but everybody was awake. Everybody got out. It could have been so much worse. Things are just things, but you can't replace people. So we have a huge amount of thank yous to say to their neighbors. They have absolutely wonderful neighbors who have designated their house as a donation drop-off spot. Another neighbor donated some money to them and ordered pizzas for the kids the day of the fire. They've had total strangers drop by and drop off cards for groceries and for clothing and just for restaurants to try to help with feeding. And they've had offers of people letting them stay at their house if they need to. And it's just been totally overwhelming to see the support from the community. And I know a lot of you on Facebook have been saying that you're praying for our family, and we really, really appreciate that. Everybody, like I said, is doing okay. They're still processing what happened. They thankfully had very, very good house insurance, so it looks like everything's going to be covered. They're staying with my son-in-law's parents right now, but everything seems to be doing well. Everybody, like I said, is safe, and that's the important thing. But I just wanted to send just a real short little message to let you know what was going on, and just to continue to keep them in your prayers. I am going to put some pictures here in case you didn't see them on Facebook of the house itself. You'll see it on the outside. Now the picture on the outside, it doesn't look too bad because when I took that picture, they had already cleaned up all the furniture and debris that was in the yard and already had the windows boarded up. The other two pictures are looking from the front door in toward the kitchen. And apparently the fire not only burned through the kitchen, it blew out one of the windows, and then the firemen had to break out the other windows to get the smoke and the heat out. But it looks like the fire flashed over the ceiling towards the front door. And you can see that as far as like the light fixtures and things are melted, but things from the ceiling to about chair rail level are melted and blistered and burned and charred pretty much to the studs. But things that are from the waist down or chair rail height down, some of them, there's a box of Kleenex that aren't even damaged. My daughter was reading her Bible earlier in the morning, and the Bible's still sitting open on the coffee table with no damage, other than the smoke. And they do have a lot of smoke damage to the rest of the house, as far as the downstairs bedroom and the upstairs bedrooms have a lot of smoke damage. And when I say smoke, it's not just smoke, it's melted plastic, melted electric, melted whatever things were going on, like chemically wise. So anyway, just a little update on what's going on, and a couple treasures that were saved that really meant a lot. I'm going to insert those pictures too. There was a photo album that was saved. And in that photo album is a picture that was taken when my granddaughter, who's the first grandchild, we have 11 total, but she's the first grandchild. And at that time, my grandmother was still living on my father's side. So we had actually 5 generations in that picture. So when you look at it, I actually have short and dark hair back then. But anyway, you will see that that's my grandmother, my father, me, my daughter, and our first grandchild. So that was a precious picture that was saved. So I'm going to insert that and pictures of the house and the condition itself. And so anyway, thank you again for everybody who has, been watching and supportive, and just to their community and the fire department and the Red Cross. Everybody has just jumped in so much to help them out. So anyway, here are the pictures, and thanks again.